What is going on, Fury? 2 minute warning. Back at it again. We got Tim, dog. We got Josh, our typical host. And we're blessed again with the Fog Meg and Dula. What's going on, fellas? We got a good panel. The show was about this past week. So what's going on, Tim?
Oh, having fun. Listen, a lot's happened last week in the NFL. Hey, Shem, I know we was messing each other back and forth like Aaron Rodgers injured. The Giants won their first game against the Denver Broncos. That was a shocker. 2 minute warning visit the Meadowlands against the New York Jets, and we all witnessed a call that it just sunk the air out of everybody. Everybody. You know, it was an incredible weekend, so how you feeling?
I'm all right, I'm not getting too crazy over here.
You shouldn't. They're 1-5.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. What is there to really hurrah about? A great win, but, then again, I'm really not looking for the wins right now. I'm not looking to tank on for Saquon.
Well, look at it this way. It's not like you beat the Browns. You actually beat a legitimate NFL team, so it tells you something.
All right, listen. Let's start it off.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Out for the season. Now, hey, Shem, I think the Green Bay Packers are done right now. I really do think they're done. Even though I know they got this kid Hundley, Brett Hundley from UCLA. I know the other lady will talk about him as far as his, how you feel about during the draft and everything. But I think it'll probably take about maybe 2 to 3 weeks for this guy to get his rhythm. And I think the NFC North is opened up now for anybody to come and take that division like Detroit and Minnesota.
Tim, it definitely knocks down Green Bay a bit, but I'm willing to give this kid a shot. I think he has good arm power. I think his biggest weakness when looking at Hundley is he stares down his option too much.
Okay.
You can basically stare him down as a defensive back, and you can look to where he's throwing most likely. He loves to stare down his receiver too long to make sure he might get open on that route, which is his downfall. But other than that, hey, Dula, I don't know. Would you compare him to maybe a Colin Kaepernick a little bit? Good arm power, a little athleticism, can overthrow sometimes, but the accuracy can be there. I'm not going to count him out, Tim, but at this point, I'm saying, hey, just like McCarthy shouted, he's been there for 3 years. He's been sitting. We watched Aaron Rodgers sit quite a while behind Brett Favre.
Right.
At Green Bay, they produce successful quarterbacks. Well, didn't we see Matt Flynn even go in for a role before, and he had 6 touchdowns in a game, and then all of a sudden this guy gets a contract with who was it? Was it the Jets or the Seahawks afterwards? I mean,
It was the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, thank you. Let's see what Hundley has. He has the arm power. The offense in Green Bay is really it's really the talent is in the receivers, and it was that offensive line, even though it's banged up and their tackles just played for the first time together last week. So that might be the question mark is the offensive line, but I'm not counting them out yet, Tim. Just because that division is sort of weak, you just mentioned it. The Bears, the Vikings, they got a QB carousel going on themselves. So I think the North is open, and I think, Dula's even going to proclaim for his own team the Lions may be fool's gold this year.
Fogs, where you at?
I was going to let you go since he was discussing the Lions. And you're Mr. Lion over there.
I want to hear you, Fox. I really do.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna say this. The Packers are, and here's the reason why. It's not a matter of Hundley getting assimilated and brought in. It's going to take a couple of weeks, like Tim said, for the adjustment to be made. And they have a good enough offense where he can have some success. The key is defense. And when you look at defense and you look at teams that have had their main player go down and they've had success, it's been because of the defense. And when you look at the Packers defense, this is a defense that is an average defense, ranking statistically between 13 and 18. That's not going to get the job done. Might get you sneaky into the playoffs because the NFC is kind of weak, but you'll be one and done if you happen to sneak in. And with how tough that is, they just don't have enough defense only out for Green Bay to be successful. So I'm going to say no, they're done, and that division is probably going to be up in the air for Detroit or Minnesota to take.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about, another division outside the NFC East. Although we'll get to the NFC East. It's a very compelling division. But I think this opens a very clear path for the Detroit Lions. I really do. I'll tell you why.
It should.
It should. Now, you said Detroit's fool's gold. They are fool's gold. They absolutely are. Look at what else is in the division. You got an Aaron Rodgers. We're going to see how good those skill players are. Everyone talks about Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, Aaron Jones, the running back. We're going to see how good they are because it's going to be a big difference offense-wise between Joe Callahan or Brett Hundley, whoever they want to roll their dice with, and Aaron Rodgers. We're also going to see how good of a coach Mike McCarthy is because he's had these guys for 3 years, or Joe Callahan was 2 years. So they've been in the system. So they got to go out and execute against some big boys. Chicago, they're a shit show. They're done. Who cares? And Minnesota. Well, first, Detroit's already beaten Minnesota. And secondly, Sam Bradford is a strong gust away from tearing his ACL again. You call Case Keenum reliable either. So, yeah, I think this is the Lions' clear path to do it. In fact, they're going to have to win the division to probably get in the playoffs because they've lost to every NFC South team. So if they got in a tiebreaker situation, they're going to lose that tiebreaker. Well, so they're kind of desperate too. They got to win the division to really get in.
All right,
South teams start to fall.
All right, I just got to let people know we do have the line open right now. The panel just said what they had to say quick. The phone number is 718-313-5155. Again, that is 718-313-5155. If you want to dial in, have an opinion what the panel had to say it with your chest. Tim, sorry to cut you off, brother.
Oh, no, I was really add on to what Della was saying because I like Chicago Bears defense. I really do. I think the Bears defense is getting better and better. It's just a quarterback issue with Trubisky. He's still raw. They got their first win. To me, in my opinion, is the better balance overall. I just want to see how they go on without Golden Tate missing a couple of games for a while. A good thing that bye week is coming up soon. So they'll have that. But, yeah, I think Detroit is probably the better equipped. The Minnesota Vikings, they're too inconsistent at quarterback. Now, I mean, I'll take Matthew Stafford any day over what Minnesota has at quarterback any day. Unless the Packers keep it up. But Packers have no defense. Hundley, that team will turn into a run-first team. And that they have no offensive line, in my opinion. He cannot do what Aaron Rodgers does. So I think Green Bay, I think this is for Detroit to win the whole thing.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think Green Bay completely implodes and goes in 10 or 7-9, or do you think they can still swing 8-8, 9-7, and still may make the playoffs as a wild card?
I think they implode. I think 7-9 is realistic for them because again, you mentioned the coaching. I think Mike McCarthy is a shit coach. He's proven it. He's had running backs the last 3 years, and he's just it's almost like, hey, I have Aaron Rodgers. Let me throw the ball. Let me throw the ball. Let me throw the ball. Guys that can actually keep Rodgers from having to throw the ball 45 to 50 times a game, and you're not using them. You're not using them correctly at all. So now he's going to be forced to run the ball. And this isn't a great rocking offensive line. Like I said, the defense is average at best. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Well, luckily for the Packers, they're going on a bye week they get more reps with Hundley in the first team, more schemes to come up with Hundley at the helm, and then they face the Lions at Lambeau. Not really good for the Lions with the track history going to Lambeau. So hey, that could be a shining point for them. And then right after they visit the Bears, I don't know. I mean, I think they have a shot to get a little track, get a little momentum, get some confidence built in Hundley here. Yeah, it could be the swing of the schedule, maybe in Hundley's favor. You never know. We'll have to see.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Are the 5-1 Eagles the best team in the NFC? Man.
Absolutely.
That smirk. Stop with the smirk, man. The answer is no.
Fat Five.
Not the best
Time to shine.
NFC.
Whatever Tim have to say, this is your time.
Listen, I'm sorry, they're not the best team in the NFC right now. Besides my Dallas Cowboys, I have to come out and
three Dallas Cowboys, right?
I saw the eye roll.
Do not interrupt me. I'm gonna come out and say the New Orleans Saints or the Detroit Lions are the two teams to worry about in the NFC.
Right. Cut him off right now.
May I say my reasons why, Mr. Fogman? Okay,
no.
Because here's the thing. When you look at it, Stafford, you look at Drew Brees. They throw the ball. They have a great offense. All right, they have a decent defense, very decent. Not as good as Philadelphia's front seven, but the thing with Philadelphia is, okay, I'm still not trusting what Carson Wentz has in Alshon Jeffrey. What I see with Michael Thomas and Drew Brees, with Snead and Drew Brees, and what's the other fella? Coleman and Drew Brees and Ted Ginn. I like what I see with Golden Tate and Matthew Stafford, Galladay and Stafford, Marvin Jones and Stafford, sometimes Ebron when he's ready to play. I like their offense. Okay, they can all day long. Carson Wentz to me is still not surrounded right, in my opinion. I mean, they have the better record. That's because of who they play. But I'm sorry. I'll go with Detroit Lions or the New Orleans Saints.
Tim, I don't know how you do it with a straight face. Like he's mastered it. Right. He's mastered it so good. Like it's common.
That is the best Flip Bayless
Tim, I would love to
I've
sit
ever
here
seen.
and spoon feed the audience bullshit with you, but at this point, it's right here, Tim. I'm looking at the whole NFC. Who has a better record? Nobody. Who's scored more points? Only the Rams. Who has better net points right now? Nobody. Who's got more touchdowns? Only a couple more teams with 18 and 19. I mean, even the road record, 3-1. How can you go against this? I'm sorry. Got the better squad on both sides of the ball in the NFC right now. Complimentary football.
Dilla was right.
Come on, talk to me,
was right. That's all I got to say. Dilla was right. He called this at the beginning of the season. He called this before this shit. He called this during the draft. And while I was suspect on it because, again, it's a young team. I agree completely. They are the better balanced team on both sides of the ball. They had the better depth on both sides of the ball. They just didn't have that star prowess on both sides of the ball the way the Giants and the way the Cowboys had it. But when you look at this team and the way they're playing as a team, and you look at the way Wentz is playing, you mentioned Alshon Jeffrey, yeah, but he's nailing Zach Ertz and he's finding Aguilar in the same fashion that Stafford would find Marvin Jones Jr. every now and again. You talk about Galladay. Well, Galladay's been hurt the last 3 weeks. You talk about the Saints who had a fluke defensive performance to beat Detroit and still almost lost that game. I mean, the Saints, really, Tim? He's the best team in the NFC by far. If it was a team that you could rank and say they might be the second best team, I don't know what else the Rams have to do to prove it, but the Saints are not there. Stop it. Salty Dallas Cowboy fan. That's what you are.
Oh.
I got to talk my shit right now because I said I said if Carson Wentz can get some receivers, check. If he can get a power running game, check. If that defense can get another corner, check. They'd be a very hard team to beat, and they did all of that. And it's coming to fruition. Now, what I will say is the Rams are a pleasant surprise, right? Todd Gurley is back to being Todd Gurley. You got Jared Goff. Wow. You know, he's looking pretty solid. So, yeah, the Rams, and, you know, I can't buy New Orleans. Let me tell you why I'm not going to buy New Orleans. New Orleans was up on Detroit 45-10, right? You should have buried them, you know, 45-10. The game's over. And what happens? Before you know it, it's 45-38. What are you doing? You can't let teams get back into the game like that. That's not a good team. That's not a mark of a good team. Good teams bury people and make it decisive and you know, go home. Saints yet. I think they can score points, obviously, right? They can force turnovers, but in the long haul, I'm not buying them. But I'll buy the Eagles. Absolutely. Best team in the NFC by far so far. Not even close.
Hey, just let you know, just reminding everybody, 718-313-5155. If you want to dial in, if you have an opinion, say it with your chest, whatnot. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Let's go.
Well, I got to say this. Look at the schedule what the Eagles have done. All right, you lost to the Chiefs, a good team. You beat the 1-4, the 1-5 Chargers. Okay, you beat the struggling Cardinals. You beat the up and down Carolina Panthers. I'm not impressed with anything they've done. I mean, to be honest with you, and again, you beating teams that are Jekyll and Hyde, bad records and all. The best team in football. I mean, a team that could go score to score with a team like the New England Patriots. If the Eagles were playing the Patriots today, they couldn't do nothing against them. For what? Which is not throwing 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. You're doing this against bad team. The Carolina Panthers not a great team. That team defense is not the same as 2 years ago. Okay, he got new toys on offense.
The same Carolina Panthers.
Mr. Fogman, you get
that division, right?
Yes. Okay, so you know my whole observation with this whole thing is, okay, yeah, they got a good record, but when my Dallas Cowboys was 13-3, we all know we had the better record, but the better team was the Atlanta Falcons or the Green Bay Packers because of what their identity was. What's the Eagles' identity? Is just throw the ball. Where's the consistent? Who's the number? Ertz is the number one guy, or was it Aguilar, or was it Alshon Jeffrey? Who are they a running team? Do they have a 1,000-yard running back who could be able to help them out? No, they don't. Okay, the front seven is awesome. I give you that. But that secondary back then, you play a team like Detroit and the Saints, go score to score, it's over. It's done. You barely beat the New York Giants, who were 0-5. You basically won on a 60-yard field goal because of missed coverage by, again, Eli Apple when Jack Grab was trying to save that coverage. They bumped to each other. A win's a win, but it wasn't something like, oh, my God. Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't even 100%. Again, who had the Eagles beaten? I'm sorry. The record is beautiful, it's nice, but when I see them play a good team and beat a good team like the Patriots, you know, like the Saints, like the Detroit Lions, you know, who they got coming up? You got the Redskins at home Monday Night Football. You got the 49ers. Oh, okay, we got smashed by Denver. If Carson Wentz could beat that defense like the Giants did, okay, well, that's pretty good. Then you see us November 19th. Okay, Fog, you know, the team that swept you last year. So, sorry. I'm just not with the Eagles right now. I'm out on that. I'm out flying with using a wing.
Can respect the hustle. I think you exhausted him. Yeah. I think Foggs is he's pretty much said what he had to say.
Yeah, he really got me tired with nonsense that he was saying. He made me death. Talking about the Saints as if they're not the lead in their division, not even the best team in their division, and he's talking about them like they've got something there. Like this is just the case of the salty Cowboys fan.
No, I said Detroit too. Detroit too.
Detroit too. Yet somehow Philadelphia's got the better defense. They've got you talk about a team that's not running the ball, but yet they're running the ball extremely well. They're controlling the pace of the game. You know, it's what's enabling Carson Wentz to look downfield and hit some of those big passes down there. Zach Ertz is outperforming any tight end in the league right now that's not named Travis Kelce. So come on, man, Tim. You're the Saints, really. You couldn't pick a better team?
All right, I guess we got to move on. We got to move on to other teams.
I mean, listen, I just real quick, Saints have beaten good teams. So I got to say, hey, they scored 52 points against Detroit Lions, 52-38. They could go toe-to-toe.
They didn't score all that, though. 52, if I'm not mistaken, 21 of those points were scored by their defense, and another 14 or 13 was set up by their defense on fluke turnovers that
wait a minute.
Happened to Matthew Stafford.
New Orleans Saints scored on three defensive plays, 3 turnovers on defense. Wow, they had no defense, though.
Yeah. I mean, the sun shines on a dog's ass at least once in its life, Tim. You look at their defense, and they're in the bottom third defensively. So, come on, stop it. Statistically, they can't stop nobody.
Okay.
And they couldn't stop. They were up 45-10, and they couldn't stop them from coming back in the second half.
Well, if it's not New Orleans or Detroit, Atlanta Falcons is still better than Eagles.
Okay. You might as well just keep going around the entire league. Just keep picking teams in the NFC. Who's next?
All I'm saying is I'm not buying with the Eagles off.
Who's next, Tim?
Hey guys, let's just
we're gonna go with Dallas at 2 and 3.
Let's move on to the next game.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Let's move on.
All right. The New York Giants had a impressive win versus the Denver Broncos. You seen that? It was 23-10. Wow, I was amazed. I mean, no fly zone was there, but they scored on defense. They had a touchdown with Ingram. Eli threw 14 times only. They ran with Darkwa. You know, so can they do this against the Seattle Seahawks? And Sean, I'm sorry. We do this on Thursdays to pick them, but I will say this. I believe the New York Giants can beat the Seattle Seahawks at home before they bye week.
Shut your mouth.
That defensive line.
Shut your mouth.
Already the Seattle Seahawks are missing their guard, Joe Kell. He's not playing this game. And Cliff Averill, their best defensive lineman, he's out with an injury. So I'm looking like, wait a minute. The Giants could actually win this game, become 2-5. They're not out of it mathematically. They'll be tied with certain teams or one game behind by certain teams. The Giants can actually pull this off, and
now we're gonna be fresh. We're gonna be ready. I'm going to let you know we're gonna be fresh and we're gonna be ready.
So all I'm saying is this: the hard part is, in my opinion, of playing a team. The hard part is where you can game plan. There's really nothing to game plan with the Giants' offense because McAdoo did something totally different last week. There's no Odell Beckham Jr. He's out for the year. There's no Brandon Marshall for a couple of games. There's no Sherper. He could throw anything he wants at you. And, I mean, let's be honest. The Seattle Seahawks secondary is not the same. The front seven is still nice, still good, but the secondary ain't the same. So I'll be scared I'm Seattle. I really would.
I mean, if anything, Sunday night really just showed us that McAdoo can't coach and McAdoo should not be playing offensive coordinator. It also showed maybe that there is some sort of a scheme or a combination on that offensive line that could potentially work. And it does show that maybe Eli Apple can actually turn his head around on defense once in a while, which is nice to see. But other than that, I'm not really putting a whole bunch of wagers into this this rest of the season. You know, what really are the Giants playing for? I mean, pride, I guess you could say at this point. I mean, you're crawling from an 0-5 perspective, you know. At this point, you should probably think about getting one of those top picks for either Saquon. I don't know how I feel about going offensive line that early. Doesn't really work with Flowers. So unless you're getting a home run, and I'm not sure how you bet that, because there's been plenty of offensive linemen and tackles drafted early, Jockle and others out there to name. You know, but yeah, at this point, Tim, I'm just indifferent on the season right now. I just watch to see what happens. I'd rather them play Davis Webb some to see if he's even going to be retainable on a 53-man roster, or if we should look for a quarterback in the future, either next year or 2019. So I really don't know. My feelings really aren't in the Giants right now. I really couldn't care less if they beat the Seahawks or not. Do I think they can? Yeah, probably, because the Seahawks, they're kind of deteriorating as well. So I don't know, Tim. I'd rather they just go 3-13. Just end it. Just put the knife in your gut and just let it be. Just let the blood flow.
But you have to feel good about this week at least.
Yeah, it was nice to see, but I mean,
I don't know. That speech you just gave sounded more like an obituary.
I mean, you know the writing's on the wall, Josh. I mean, I'm not saying that, it's hopeful. So at least this week, gave you something to feel good about, if there was any silver lining.
I just want to play maybe spoiler for a couple of playoff potential teams. That'd be nice late in the season. But that's about, all that's left in my joy.
Ruin some dreams.
Ruin some teams' playoff card. Yeah, hopefully. That'd be nice. I could go for that.
I guess go ahead.
I think the Giants, they're done. It's unfortunate, but bright spot to take, like Josh said. They were able to run the ball. They actually showed some versatility in the playbook and changed it up. I just don't understand why it takes go down. We've seen this over and over in the NFL. We saw it with Andrew Luck going down. We saw when Donovan McNabb back with the Eagles went down, how the playbook just changes. And all of a sudden, plan is different, and you're seeing successes that you're going, well, why the fuck weren't we doing that when we had our goddamn quarterback in there to begin with? No sense to me whatsoever.
I hop on the board of, the Giants, they're done. Let's call a spade a spade. Whether it's 3-13 or 6-10 or even 7-9, they're done. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you wanted McAdoo gone, that'll probably happen, if they go 3-13. It just makes the draft a little murkier because, you talk about Saquon Barkley, and yes, great prospect. However, if you bring a new head coach in there, he's not married to Davis Webb at all. So if you're sitting there with a top 5 pick, and I don't know, you got Josh Rosen, you got Sam Darnold, you got Lamar Jackson, what's not to say that they look for a quarterback, What's not to say they go in another direction? What's not to say that they, take an edge rusher? There's no real telling. So if I'm the Giants, you just got to see what you got. And you just got to evaluate, how long are we tied to this Eli Manning train? Are we talking a season? Are we talking 3? Or is this the end of the road and let's move on? Whether that be in free agency or whether that be in the draft. Probably the draft, I'd imagine. But I learned one thing about the Giants on Sunday, and that's they probably should have ran the ball with this Darkwood kid way before all of this. I think they would have had a little better results if they just tried to run. That's pretty much it.
All right, I'm just gonna have to say, dial in 718-313-5155. Maybe you have to say with the chest. Let's go, Tim.
Well, listen, I respect what Shim's saying because it's like early today I made a thread saying, if the Giants were picking the top 5 in the NFL draft, like who would they take? And people are like, oh, why would you ask that? Well, here's my opinion that the Giants, the New York Giants will be a top 5 team. You know what I'm saying? So, they'll be a top team next year with a top pick. Let's just say they get a guy like Saquon Barkley, a running back, and depending on what they do in the offseason and rebuild and stuff like that. I'm not supposed to be where they at right now. We all know that. It's bad stuff, going on X, Y, and Z with that team, and this is what happens. I think the Giants, in my opinion, would be they're not out of it. Especially with my Dallas Cowboys not doing what they're supposed to be doing, giving up games. You never know what can happen. You really never know. And the Giants, if you win the Seattle game, you go off on a bye week, and then now the defense is ready to play, ready to ball. They have the playoff. They have a defense, a defensive team that can wreck in the playoffs. It's the offense that needs to find its identity now without Odell. Can they win without Odell Beckham Jr.? I think so. Why? Eli would not have anybody in his ear. He don't have to throw you the ball. Just get open. Last week, Eli don't get the credit that Eli Manning does not get the credit that this guy has played with so many different types of wide receivers, whether they good, whether they bad, and still does what he does to put his team in the best chance to win. And nobody gives him the credit. They make fun of him. They say he's not like his brother. You're right. He's not like his brother. The man is a winner. He has won 2 Super Bowls. His brother has embarrassed the New York Giants stadium with a performance against the Seattle Seahawks versus Denver. Did we not see that? He embarrassed that stadium. So right, Eli Manning can do. If Eli Manning takes this team and puts them in a playoff contention spot without Odell Beckham Jr., I'm sorry. Can we say MVP? We have to give him something. There's no credit at all. He gets criticized.
Tim, did you get like death threats from Giants fans or something?
No. I'm speaking the truth, Mr. Fogman.
Is James Cooper standing there next to you off camera?
I think so.
No. Because no. Listen, I don't like the Giants. I really don't like the Giants.
Wait. Last week you agreed with me that the Pittsburgh Steelers are done. They're 4-2. And the Giants are 1-1.
No, here's the difference, though.
And they have a chance.
No. Here's my difference. I'm going to say why. Here's my difference why. The New York Giants, what they've been going through this whole week, issue, getting suspended. They went through a lot of things this week. They was able to go to Denver. Go to Denver. A place where it's not easy to win and win a game. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, not even to breathe either. You can smoke if you want to smoke, but that's about it. But if you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't see anybody disrespecting Eli Manning on the field. I don't see anybody tweeting, "I want to get traded." I don't see these things happening. They almost lost the game last week against the Chiefs. They almost lost.
Well,
they're not the same.
Let's move on
right now.
Let's move on. But again,
Steelers fans watching,
this is unbelievable.
If you want to dial in, 718-313-5155. Let's move on to the next game, guys.
Listen, this is the real message right here. All Giants fans, right here. This thank God for Saquon, baby. We're doing this.
All right. Thank God for Saquon. Hashtag.
All right. Son, Fog, we was there at the 2-minute warning, 3rd annual tailgate. Great time with you guys. What happened there, we leave there. We don't talk about it on the air. We all behave, though. But I will say this. That was a disgusting call that I know I witnessed with the Patriots and the Jets. You know what, Shim? I know what you said earlier. You came and said, yo, Tim, it's the rule. And you know what? It is the rule. But you know what? The way it happened, so Austin SEFERIAN-JENKINS catches a pass. He's diving in. So for what they say, he fumbled the ball because Malcolm Butler hit the ball out of his hands. He fumbled the ball at the goal and recovered it. So now they ruled it a touchdown. Once they ruled it a touchdown, it was a break in between. I believe it was a medical issue. So everything stopped. There was no flags thrown. There was nothing. Everything paused. All of a sudden, we see a change of a call is ruled a touchback. Butler says that he told the referee that basically after the play, during the break, he told the referee, hey, it was a fumble. And he lost control of the ball. You went up to a ref and told the ref to look at the replay?
Hello?
Well, 1 second, Kyrie. Let Tim finish up whatever.
I'm sorry. It was a dumb call. It should never have been called. I'm sorry.
All right, we got Kyrie on the call. I think he has something on his chest he got to let out. Kyrie, what's good? What you got to say?
I just wanted to say that, well, for one, I heard you guys talking about the New York Jets, and they got robbed. That was a total robbery. That was a classic New England robbery. And I honestly think that the Jets, I think they might make the wild card. I could see them making the wild card because I think Denver and San Diego, I think San Diego and Denver is both going to fumble some games in the second half of the year.
Wait. There's a football team in San Diego?
No. No, I'm great. No, I don't like San Diego. I don't like nothing about it. Respect the fella Rivers, but yeah, I would like to say, man, the Raiders, man, they have been a disappointment, but overall, I like everything that's going on with the defense because the defense is improving every week. And we made a huge mistake of firing the offensive coordinator because this guy he changed the run scheme from a power run scheme to a zone run scheme when we picked up Marshawn Lynch. And we let go of Latavius Murray. And the run scheme that we have now would have actually favored Latavius Murray, which is all crazy to me. We don't use the tight end. We don't play action to Jared Cook. We play action the least of any team in the league. And at first I thought it was Amari Cooper, but it's the play calling because we pass the ball in the gun more than any team in the league, and our play calling is predictable, sitting on all of our receiving routes because they all run vertical routes.
Hey, so welcome to our offense.
But hopefully, jobs have been getting threatened, and hopefully they could turn it around because Mike Tice, the former coach of the Vikings, he's helping Todd Downing with the play calling. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just messed up that the defense improved and now the offense takes a step back. It's real mind-boggling. It's crazy.
Right.
Well, thank you, Kyrie, for your thoughts.
You know what? Nah. There's so much I can say right now. But you know what? I'm going to let it ride. Because although the Raiders are currently 2-4, they're still in it. Right? They still have a shot at, the Super Bowl and goals and all of that good stuff. But look at it this way. You still got Cordell Patterson. Woo!
Well, how you feeling, Sam?
Honestly, I was just thinking to myself, I'm glad Kari came in and broke it down for us because in our group the whole time, Raiders fans are just like, I don't know what's wrong. I couldn't tell you what's wrong. I mean, these are Raiders fans, diehard Raiders fans. They're watching the games, and they honestly can't tell us what's wrong with their own team. So special shout-out to Kari. Thank you. There's at least a true Oakland fan in the group that can at least break it down for us. Yeah, I mean, for those of us, that can't actually see all the Raiders games all the time, thank you. I appreciate that. And, yeah, I always thought Cooper was dropping some balls. The offensive line, maybe they weren't playing up to their number 2, number 3 prowess that they were given in like the early preseason rankings. And Derek Carr, this dude's coming back from back spasms, broken back. Like he actually has broken bones in his back, and he's trying to come out there, and all the Raiders fans are like, he'll be all right, yo, he all right. It's, Derek Carr, it's whatever. He wouldn't be playing if he couldn't. And these are the same fans that were making fun of Tony Romo when he was having his back problems, were they not? I'm pretty sure it's the same exact Raiders fans, but it's okay because it's Derek Carr now. Like Derek Carr's back is better than Tony Romo's back. Like this back is better than that back. So Raider Nation. I just don't get their logic. It's unfathomable. I don't know, man. They were Super Bowl bound, then they got real quiet in the few weeks, and then all of a sudden Derek Carr is coming back, and it's all like, yeah, he's all right. No back problems for him, bro. And 2 intos. Come on, man. He's obviously not all right.
And you know what the thing is too?
No, you know what? No, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Thank you. Let's go. Keep this Raider train going, baby.
Play with your chest, brother.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I remember all season. Oh my God, we got Marshawn. We gonna get Calvin Johnson. Yeah, where he at? He at home. You know why? Because he don't want to play with no losers. Oh, he gonna stay in Detroit for that.
And I thought Lynch would do well too. Yeah.
And you know what? And Todd Dowling. You know what? I know Todd Dowling because he was a quarterback coach in Detroit when Stafford had some of his worst years. How amazing! And all of a sudden, this is offensive coordinator. He's gonna put this offense together. Jared Cook's gonna be catching bombs. Cordell Patterson. Shout out to Cueto for talking up Cordell Patterson. Oh yeah, he scored. Yeah, because he's a better running back than he is a receiver. That's why. Trick plays, gadgets, special teams. Get out of here with this receiver talk. No. Again, and you know what? I'm furious because you talk about San Diego. It's the LA Chargers. They beat you. You respect them. They're the constant Chargers.
And if you look at the NFL divisions right now, the Chargers are above the Raiders. Like that's bad. Come on, man. The Chargers basically don't have a stadium this year. They don't even have a home. This is a team that doesn't have a home. Where is your home? They don't have one. Their home games are away games. Do you see the cameras panned in the bleachers? There's like an attendance of maybe like 502 people, and 499 of them are the employees. They don't have a home.
Well, you know what's bad? See, I'm trying to be nice and respectful because Kyrie, he's a great Raider fan. He reps it. Shows the other people 2-minute warning. But I gotta say what I want to say too. I mean, hold on a second. Damn. They're not making the playoffs at all. I mean, look, you got the Chiefs. Rivalry game this Thursday. That's going to be up in the air. Then you go to Buffalo. A nice defense. You see what Buffalo did to Atlanta. Okay, then you're playing the Miami Dolphins at Miami. They beat Atlanta too. Then you're playing the Patriots. Then you're playing the Broncos. Then you're playing the New York Giants. Hey, let's see what the Giants are at that point. They still got a top defense. And I'm sorry, you don't want that. Derek Carr got a messed up back, Shim, right? Oh, yeah. But be blocking for that against that defense. And then you got the Chiefs again. And then here's the thing: December 17, you're playing my Dallas Cowboys. Now, is this? I'm looking at that schedule. I say maybe one win against the Miami Dolphins. The rest is losses. Derek Carr with a messed up back, he needs to sit down and heal. He not play every game is going to heal. I mean, hey, I know about back injuries. Guess what? You need rest, medication, rest, and medication. Derek Carr looked like he was throwing lefty. Like those lefty, they throw funny like this. He's a righty, and he's throwing lefty. That's how bad it was. And I'm sorry. 17-16. Now right, this.
Sorry,
You be playing the team. Oh my God, it's gonna get worse. I'm sorry.
I want to redirect this back to the Jets. And we were talking about the Jets and how they got jobs. And wait, what's that? Who on the line?
I think that might be. Go ahead.
They got a job. But guess who cares? No one. No one cares. Because it's the Jets. Yeah, they got jobs. Got completely job. Listen, that's one of the most lackluster calls. Just how? And Tim, let me talk to you, brother, because you out here talking about, oh, yeah, it was a bad call. They got job. You had no problem a few years ago. I don't think I forgot when the Cowboys played the Lions in that playoff game, how we got job, and it was cool. Because, Cowboys. Cowboys got Lions, and it was cool. But, it's like, oh, well, the Jets, they got robbed. Who cares? It's football.
No, but Sim, those are two different jobs. See, here's what I'm talking about. If they would have called that call right after they reviewed it for a touchdown, I would have respected. That ain't happened. A medical issue happened. It took Malcolm Butler and a coach to go over to the refs and tell them to please look at that. So, a Patriot convinced the ref, wasn't sold on it the minute it happened, to say, hey, we want to review this. Different story. Even, I think, Mike Pereira, the head of officiating, even said, I think it was a touchdown. So that to me was bad. Now, again, if this would have happened the minute he scored a touchdown and is being under review and caught a touchback, I would have had no problem with the rule. It was so funny. It's like with the Patriots, my God, like where do these crazy things just happen that don't happen on a normal basis on any other team? But when you play the Patriots, something goes down. Something goes down. It's hard.
All right, we got to wrap it up. We almost an hour in. So how many more teams do we have?
Okay, Sean. All right. We have right now coming up, we are going to be talking about should the Pittsburgh Steelers trade Martavis Bryant. I'll say this, Shim. They are in trouble. I'm going back to memory lane where Martavis Bryant had words back and forth before training camp officially started. Martavis Bryant came out and said, when I see Big Ben, I'm gonna talk to him like a man face to face. That was to the media. He told that too. Then we have the issue with the national anthem in the locker room where some are disagreeing with each other. Then we have Antonio Brown showing that he's all about himself and not about the team. He wants to score. Did we not see how excited he got off a tip touchdown last week? Like, oh my, like he won the Super Bowl. Like, dude, are you serious? Then we got Martavis Bryant tweeting saying he's not happy because Juju Schuster, the rookie, is getting more playing time. And then I believe this even started out on a tweet during the NFL draft when Juju got drafted. Brian and Eli Rodgers go back and forth on Twitter, disrespecting each other.
Sammy Coates.
About who's getting cut because of his drafted. Shim.
Sammy Coates was the one. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sammy Coates, thank you. Yeah. So, Shim, I'm sorry. And, it's Trade the man right now. Take all, get the headaches away. If they're smart, which they're not smart. They're not smart. You still got Le'Veon Bell not signed, worrying about how he's going to run because he don't want to get hurt. I'm sorry. They're not smart at all. Trade. If you want to be smart, trade the man. Take care of the headaches. You don't need a headache going towards the playoffs. You don't.
It's even worse in this day and age, too, when something like that leaks out to the media.
Yes.
It's hard to survive with that kind of stuff, too. I mean, you have to have one of the toughest sealed mental, foundations ever, because you're constantly going to get tweeted at for the BS that you're causing. You're going to have people that are in your corner, saying, you're the man, dog, stand up for you, you the shit, and then you're going to have others that are going to constantly tweet you daily. You're so selfish, blah, blah, blah. You're not about this team. You're a loser. A whole bunch of vulgarities coming at him, possibly even death threats, because people are just insane over the NFL, and I guess they're that passionate about their football team and the players on it. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy time where we live, man. And when something like this leaks now in this day and age, it's 2017, man, Antonio's probably getting it, Ben's probably getting it, even Le'Veon's probably getting some tweets like, yo, dog, you're I know you're not really involved, but could you talk to Martavis? Make sure the locker room's all right. And it's like, man, people are just trying to butt in like this is a family episode and like everyone's involved. Millions of people are in the locker room with them or something. So that's tough to live with. And, these players, they can't turn off their phone. We're all addicted to our cell phones and our smartphones in a sense, where we have to check our notifications and those little dopamines that we get, checking it all the time. Man, they're going to be plagued by just constant BS from fans and the media. And it might be, either Martavis has to get his crap in order. He has to have a stern talk to, and, one more, out of line, we might even release you. But at this point, if I was a Steeler fan, I would be like, trade him, man. Get something worse for him, because he's not worth the headache anymore. And this is a guy that should be happy he's even employed by our freaking organization, because he wants to go and smoke a J every now and then and think about himself. And he's still thinking about himself rather than the team, even when the draft came along. Dula?
I'm going to give you a few names. Santonio Holmes, Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders.
Good one.
Pittsburgh has this thing with receivers where the moment they start to speak up and speak out, they're gone. Think about this. They shipped Santonio Holmes, a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
He won that Super Bowl, and they shipped him off for a 7th-round pick.
That's a good point.
A 7th-round pick. You're going to ship a top 15 receiver in his prime off for a 7th-round pick because you didn't like his attitude and the way he wasn't fitting that Steeler way. Right? You let Mike Wallace walk because he wanted too much money. You let Emmanuel Sanders walk because he thought he was worth more than what,
Right.
And it's not going to be a last. Yeah, trade Martavis Bryant. Because, listen, it's not as if he's such a player that's not expendable. AB is the number one receiver there. Whether you want to play Sammy Coates or Juju or whoever else, Bryant's replaceable. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But he's replaceable. And Pittsburgh showed that when they went and got a receiver in the draft. That is not a striking glow of confidence to say, hey, I know we want to get deeper at the position, but we're going to get someone early because you know what? You're a failed drug test away from being gone for good. And all of this has come to fruition. So, yeah, of course, trade him. And whatever you get for him is what you get for him. There are teams that would take him on. There are teams that are receiver hungry. Cough, cough, New York Giants. Cough, cough, a lot of teams. So be it. Nah, but yeah, absolutely trade the guy. There's no reason to be married to him. He's not Antonio Brown.
If Giants are going to go for a pothead, I'd rather go for Josh Gordon. That's just me.
Well, yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I mean, not the pothead thing. I mean, it's part of it, but he's been suspended twice already. Yeah. So I think one more.
And like Dylan said, they've already shown they can win without him too during those suspensions.
Right.
Suspended games.
But So the next team he signs up with is gonna. Because I don't know like how does it go? Like is it one more time for the rest of your career, or is there like a if you be cool for like 2-3 years, it goes away, then you can start. You know, I don't know how it goes with the.
I think what it is he's been suspended a full season. I think his next suspension is an indefinite suspension, which could be for it would be at least a year. It's similar to what Randy Gregory's going through right now.
Oh my God! Nah.
I think
we don't want him. We don't want him.
I think one more drug failure. He's on suspension as long as Goodell wants to suspend him.
No, we don't want
that
him.
be a season or 2 or indefinitely. Just banish the guy.
Yeah, and imagine if Roger Goodell has that deciding factor before this collusion lawsuit ends his CBA. Roger Goodell's going to want to get one more hefty suspension in before his powers go on. Ooh, Martavis, 32 games.
So, you know what? But you know, just for laughs and giggles, I went and looked up Martavis Bryant's scouting report. He went to Clemson with Sammy Watkins. He played opposite Sammy Watkins. Mm-hmm. You know why he fell?
Drugs?
Attitude issues.
Oh, okay.
Drug issues.
One or the other.
Are we shocked?
Oh man, maybe something's up with Sammy in that regard too, because I don't know why that guy can't. He was getting targets in LA, and now he's all of a sudden he's getting 2 and maybe 1. What's up with Watkins?
Jared Goff, that's the problem. Jared Goff development, but
what could it be though? Is it the friends? Is it just his attitude? Just didn't care? Like, dude, your career, you're making money off of this.
I just don't think he thinks. He just doesn't think thoroughly. He acts on like feelings, especially with the Twitter thing. Juju's drafted like, LOL, y'all don't, I'm the one that's back. That's Sammy's replacement. It's just like, why would you even think that would be smart to tweet out to the public, man?
Why do you want to look at it?
Big Ben is probably like, y'all called me to come out of retirement. Me thinking about retirement for this. He's babysitting. You got a guy in Antonio Brown who worried about his numbers and touchdowns. You got a guy Martavis Bryant. Now I'm not happy the way I'm in the system, but you disrespected the quarterback. Michael Irvin said the greatest thing of all time. Wide receivers need to be nice to their quarterbacks because they're the reason why you gave them the big bucks. Stuff the football, they throwing it to you. So you be nice. You disrespect the Big Ben. He's like, I'm not gonna throw the ball to you. I'm throwing in Juju. Juju's having a good time. Juju's having a good time. So
I'm gonna be.
No. If you look at AB for example, you're talking about a guy who, what was he? He was a late or undrafted free agent out of Central Michigan.
Yes.
I mean, the guy has his chip on his shoulder. So he has his alpha dog personality of I want the ball. I think it's the same thing with Martavis Bryant. After this year-long suspension, all he's heard is, he's not reliable. He's gonna smoke his career away. So I'm sure he's pretty insecure about his whole standing in his whole position. He knows that if he blinks the wrong way, it could be over. And that's the thing. He wants to leave an impression in the Steelers' mouth. The problem is that he's leaving a very bad one in their mouth by all these antics. He's just shut up and play football.
But you know what? At this point, but you know what, too, Della? He also has to understand he was suspended. So nobody owes you nothing. You owe the Steelers something. Now, they drafted his replacement in Juju, so he's seeing that, okay, I know already they're not going to pay me all that money because they're already paying Antonio Brown. This kid Juju right now, we know the business. He got drafted. He's good. All they got to do is draft him another receiver. So he's a free agent. Now, here's what's going to happen. Every owner's going to say, well, we're not going to trade for you to us. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give you money and what we're gonna put in the contract is things like if you do this, we get this back. You do this, you owe now to the NFL teams trouble because nobody's gonna want for you to get suspended and they gotta pay you. No, you can't do that. You're gonna have to prove you're gonna have to make them. You're gonna have to basically show them and prove to yourself that you're gonna be able to make money and and stay out of trouble. Now, God bless. I've heard he got a family now. He has a child. That's a great thing. So a lot of times, a lot of these players, when they go through that experience, they become more mature. They become much better, more focused on their career, which is a great thing. So I'm rooting for him to and be on a different team. I don't think he'll be traded because I don't think anybody will take a chance on that. And depending what the trade for, if I'm another team, I'm like, well, I'll give you a fourth round pick or fifth round pick. Why? Because he gets in trouble, I lose out.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Exactly.
Is there anything else we got to discuss? It sounds like we wrapped it up for today.
No, I'm good. My Cowboys off the bye week. Playing the 49ers next week. Shim, Thursday what we got to talk about, the pick'ems.
Zeke reinstated. Oh,
Stay tuned for the pick'ems later on this week, fellas.
Oh, Zeke, you're back again. Yay.
You guys hear? The judge is on vacation. So
dun dun dun. Stay tuned. On that being said, guys, thank you for joining us on Fury. We will have a great show for you guys next week, same time, same place. Thanks again, Kyrie, for calling in. Thank you for the two panel guests. Fogman for showing up. Tim,
Yes,
Josh, sounds like it's a show, and we out
Thursday.
Later, folks.
No doubt.
Tank on for Saquon.